Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Veggie Bob Vlogs podcast. It's not really a podcast. I mean, I guess it kind of is. Um, we've been missing for a while. It's been 3 weeks since we recorded, just because we have a whole new setup. we got cameras. We got mics now. It's not just like an iPhone anymore. we have equipment. So. Yeah, that's why we've been missing for 3 weeks. What do you think of the whole setup, Bianca?
Intimidating.
Really?
I'm in a corner, Jimmy, and there's like 3 cameras.
Yeah, it's professional.
I'm literally trapped. Like, you guys don't see it, but there's like a little gap here, and I had to like squeeze my way in here.
It's fine. It's fine. It's perfectly trapped. Fine. It's perfectly fine. Okay. So. Let's get down to this conversation. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about. So I went downstairs before this whole conversation, before we started recording, and I like kind of giving Bianca a heads up as to, okay, this is kind of what I want to talk about today. And what did I say? One of the things I wanted to talk about today was, have you ever felt like it's really difficult to love me at times? Is it really difficult?
No, I mean, I sometimes find you annoying, but it's not hard to love you.
Okay. What's the difference between being annoyed and loving me? Like being annoyed at me or with me or loving me?
I repeat that again.
What's the difference?
I'm like zoning out.
No, it's fine. Like, what's the difference? We literally talked about this 15 minutes ago.
I warned you too. Okay?
It's fine. Bianca's been very busy with school and work. So when she's not doing school, guess what? She's working. And when she's not working, guess what? She's doing schoolwork, right? So it's literally been hectic. But going back to my question, what's the difference to you between you being annoyed at me and you loving me?
I don't know how to put words. I mean, there's a big difference.
Well, what's one of the major differences?
I guess when I'm not annoyed, like, I don't know, I'm just more, like, when I'm loving you, like, I just...
It's easy to love me. Yeah. Okay, so when you're annoyed, is it hard to love me? That's a good way to put it. Think of a situation where I annoyed you so much, and then think back. I have to choose to love Jimmy this much?
I never, like, I don't know. I feel like, because there are multiple times where you would annoy me, but I think that...
What exactly did I do? I'm throwing myself under the bus here just by asking that question.
Do you really want me to share that?
Yeah.
When you burp towards my, like, direction, I know it's not intentional, but you just do it.
I don't mean to do it.
Yeah. But even when you're, like, talking, like, if we're talking right now, you just burp, like, and you're looking at me in my direction. Like, that really... Ooh.
So that's your pet peeve, then?
Yeah. What else? What else did you do? There's just quite a few things, but one of them is, like, the burping and the farting.
I think that goes...
But you do it so many times. Like, it's not normal.
Dude, do you see the things I eat?
Yeah.
Like, that's why before the... Like, remember how I said, do you want your drink? So you have your Timmy's drink.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, ooh, I don't know if I should drink anymore because I might be gassy.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I just drink that much. So
Yeah.
I'm just naturally gassy. I don't mean to. Okay.
I don't mind if you do it, but you always do it towards me. Like, I could smell it. I know what you drank. I know what you ate. Like, it's fine. Like, it's natural.
Energy drinks.
Yes. And I know what meal you ate. And I'm like, oh, it's this. And it's this.
Oh,
I don't even...
Sticks.
I don't even try to smell it. It just pops up. Even when you do, like, silently. Like, oh, I know you had an energy drink. Because you just burped silently. No, actually, you don't burp silently. It's just loud.
I don't think I can burp silently. If I do, I'll be like, that's how I burp silently.
Yeah.
Like even at work too, right? That's what I do.
But and also another thing is, oh gosh, I sound terrible. When I don't clean or fix something to your standards until you'd fix it.
So that annoys you.
Sometimes, like when I see, because I'm like, I just did that for you. And then you just fixed it. I'm like, well, I don't want to do it anymore because you fixed it.
Well, okay. Remember, I told you why I do fix it.
Yeah, I
right?
know, but
So,
I'm just saying.
I do appreciate when you do, like, you clean up, you make the bed, do all those things, do the dishes. But if something's off, the only time I fix it is if I have time to fix it and I have the energy to fix it, then I'll fix it. But if I'm tired, I'll be like, I don't want to fix it anymore. You know what? It's perfect. So it depends on the situation and how much energy and how tired I am for me to fix it, right? Yeah. So just know, I want you to keep doing it. Because that's my love language.
Yes, it is. It really is. But yeah, but normally, like, when those instances, like, happen, for, like, a minute, like, I just be annoyed, but then it just go away because it's how much I love you. That's why I was like, I don't really wouldn't say that. Like, it's hard for me to love you because just, I don't know.
You choose to love
Yeah, me. I guess it's just, like, automatic because I'm just so used to, like, being like, it's fine. Even though...
It's not fine.
Yeah.
That was every other female thinking that. It's fine. Honey, are you okay? I'm fine. Look, it's not fine. But, you know, I still love you. Well, for me...
Uh-oh, now it's my turn. Yeah.
Well, no, because that's what I'm talking about, right? Like, for me, I guess I was already staring in this direction where there are times it's hard for me to love you, not because of anything you do. Remember, I always say, dude, I love you for who you are, not for what you do, right? But I find it hard for me to love you when there's something going on with me.
Oh, yeah. I see
right?
that, yeah.
And I think a lot of couples get that wrong. They'll put the blame on their significant other, their husband or their wife, and not realize, dude, the reason why you're like that is because it's something within you that's causing it hard for you to love them. That's making it hard for yourself to love them, right? That's why whenever I'm like, oh, right now this is what I'm thinking. I'm just tired. I just worked a 16-hour shift. I'm physically exhausted. And my drive home was 2 hours.
On top of that.
On top of working the 16 hours, right? So it's like when I get home, remember there was one day I worked, it was about 16 hours. There was one day I worked 16 hours and I was just physically drained. Not so much mentally, it was more just physical work. That was the day I had to rip toilets off the wall in the washrooms. I told you this. And man, I got pee-pee smell all over me. And I had to clear out the drains right? And then I went to another club and then we had to fix the toilet. Then went to another club, I had to fix the water fountain.
How many clubs did you went to again?
I ended up going to 3 clubs that day. And then on top of that, and then I gotta drive like an hour and a half home. So I was just exhausted. I got home at 10 o'clock, 10:30 that day, right? And I'm like, I went upstairs and I'm like, so when I first enter the house, the first thing I see is the kitchen. It's just my first direct view of sight, right? And I saw the kitchen was a mess. But I was so exhausted, I didn't say anything. I didn't even go downstairs to you. I think I went into like auto mode, but I was annoyed and really tired.
Yeah.
Well, I was tired, but I was annoyed, but I just kept it in because that's how tired I was. I was so tired that I couldn't express my annoyance anymore. Because I'm like, I just want to... So I ended up... We had sticky floors. There was a mess all over the table. There was dishes in the sink. And on top of that, it smelled. Right? So I kind of have to paint a picture of why this was like this when I got home. So my dad lives with me and my wife, and my dad's 83. So his hearing and his sight isn't exactly the greatest, and he does his best to kind of clean up after himself, but there are things he just doesn't see. Like, he'll spill his tea with his honey, and it's all over the floor and all over the table, and he'll wipe it with a dry paper towel. But it's still sticky, right? And then he'll cook noodles, like instant noodles, and he'll put the noodles in a bowl, and then he'll put his water in the bowl, and he'll put it in the microwave, and then it explodes all over in the microwave. And as he's taking it out, right, from the microwave, he'll spill it. And it's everywhere. And again, he does his best to clean up after himself, but I think he just doesn't see it, right? So there's the mess of that. And then on top of that, he'll put his bowl in the sink. He'll try to wash his bowl with a sponge. But again, he thinks it's clean, and I'll look at the bowl, and I'm like, I can still see all the hard noodles on the plate. And on top of that, he doesn't rinse the sink. So whatever leftover noodles or, the seasoning that gets thrown down the sink, it's not down the drain, it's around the sink. And he doesn't rinse it off. So when I come home, it's been there for maybe, 2, 3, 4 hours. And I come in, I'm like, it smells like eggs and noodle, like rotten eggs and noodle. Because it's boiled eggs. Sometimes you'll have boiled eggs, right? So I come home and I'm like, it's just a mess. And I'm like, oh, whatever. I'm the type of person that likes a clean environment. I'm going to keep saying this.
Yes.
Who likes a clean environment because I can mentally think better when it's a clean environment. And I always like to start off mentally prepared for the day or mentally finish for the day where everything's clean, everything's taken care of. It's out of my mind and I can kind of just unwind, go to bed, whatever, whatnot, right? So when I came home to this, I'm like, I was so tired, so annoyed, but I still just cleaned it up and went to bed. And then I went downstairs to say, hey, I'm home. You didn't even know I was home at the time, right?
No.
Cleaning up.
Because I was studying.
So now get this. Bianca was upstairs and she actually cleaned maybe 2 hours before I got home.
I cleaned it, yeah.
Right? Again, with my dad. He got hungry. He's going to do his thing. He leaves a mess. And Bianca didn't even know. So, again, is that Bianca's fault? No. Right? Because for all you know, it's like, yeah, I cleaned. My husband's going to be happy when he gets home, had a long day, and then I come home to that, right? So going back to what I was saying is, when I find it hard for me to love you, I know right away it's nothing that you did or didn't do. It's always something within me, right?
You're gonna have to keep reminding me of that, that.
Oh, I'm totally gonna keep reminding you of that.
Because I always feel like it's my fault.
No, it's never your fault.
Yeah.
That's why I'm always reminding you I'm always gonna love you for who you are, not for what you do or for what you don't do, no matter what, right? But when I feel like it's hard for me to love you, it's not on your end. It's on my end. So I guess speaking to other couples, if you find you're always angry or annoyed or frustrated at your partner, don't always be quick to look at what your partner did or didn't do. Because at the end of the day, you can't control anything past the tip of your nose, which means you can only control your feelings, your actions, your thoughts. And a lot of the times, it's something that's within us that needs to change. There's an attitude, a heart adjustment, a heart attitude that needs to change. But in order for you to change that, you need to be aware of it.
Yeah.
Right? So again, going back to, do I find it hard to love you at times? Yes, but it's not on your end. It's on my end. And when I figure out what is it on my end that's making it really hard for me to love you, right there, it's like, oh, it's me. I guess, it's really easy for me to crack jokes at myself.
What?
Well, because, one, I can't take life too seriously, right? I like to have fun. I like to enjoy life. I like to laugh. And I'll laugh at myself first before I laugh at others. That's why when you ever say, so every time you say, I tell Bianca this. I'm like, you know what really makes me happy? Do you know where I'm going with this?
I don't know which part, because you always say it, then something really stupid comes out of your mouth.
So you know what really makes me happy? When I bug you.
Yep.
Right? Like, I don't know. It's just something that's with it. My dad's the same way. My dad used to do that with my mom.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, dude, Tata would always annoy Nanay. To the point where Nanay would, she would get it would get under her skin. Right? Like, and my dad would always say, I don't know why I'm like this, but I just enjoy doing it. Like, I really enjoy just annoying your mom. Right? In the same way, I really like bugging you.
Poor Nana. That's all I gotta say, because I feel her pain.
But it brings me so much joy. But I don't do that if I can't take it. That's why I can poke fun at me. And I'm like, you poke fun at me too. And I'd be like, you know what I mean?
I just thought of something.
What did you think of?
No, I can't share it.
Dude, you can share it.
I'm just like, oh, like whenever you record me, it's like, you can do the same. I'm like, I can't, Jimmy, because it's not appropriate. The things that you do.
Yeah, so I don't have much of a filter.
I think they can tell.
Bianca's the one that has the filter. So, here's a question. When I don't When I don't have much of a filter, do you ever wish you could change that about me?
No.
Why?
Because it's part of you. Well, that's what I love about you too. So.
What, the fact that I don't have much of a filter?
Yeah, and you could just be like honest, a little too honest, but you know.
I think that's more. I mean, that's a double-edged sword, right? Mm-hmm. Being too honest, but I think that leans more towards being a more positive thing. Yeah. In our case, right? Like, I'm never gonna say something mean with the intention of trying to hurt you or others. You know that. I know. It's like, I didn't mean to hurt you. It's just, I'm sorry, I don't have much.
You can be really oblivious sometimes to that.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Team Hammer would always be like, dude, you're just so oblivious. You're oblivious too. To
I know. No, I know. Yeah, I'm. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go there. So one of the things Bianca was oblivious to when we first got together, or before we even got together. So how we got together, that's a story all in itself, right? But basically, we kind of grew up together. Mm. We have an 11-year age gap. But keep in mind, your parents have a 14-year age gap, right? Mm. So it's not really uncommon, or even when I started dating her, her parents were totally okay with it, because they're like, their age gap was 14 years, ours is 11 years, so it's like, whatever. And we've known each other our whole lives, right?
Yeah. Like, they knew that there was no, like, feelings for one another, like, when we were
younger. Yeah, when we were younger. There was, like, absolutely nothing there. We were just friends. We liked hanging out. We liked playing video games. And we liked getting tacos.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, going back to my story, one of the things Bianca was oblivious to was when I liked her. When I liked her. Like, I developed romantic feelings for her. Do you remember? We were in the car. And I was dropping you off to work at this time, right? So you work night shift, so I drop you off at like 10:30. I'd pick you up a little bit earlier because I wanted to spend time with you in the car and just talk to you.
Yeah.
All right, during that, so again, so I'm picking her up early and to spend more time with her before I drop you off to work. And you were still oblivious as to me liking you, right? Why?
Because, I don't know, you would just do those things before.
It was just part of it. That's just natural. Who I was. Like, I did that with everybody I cared about.
Yeah.
With my friends, right? So she was oblivious to the point where I had to spell it out. So when I told her, I'm like, Bianca, I like you. You were still oblivious, right?
I was like, yeah, I like you too.
And then, what did I say? I had to literally spell it out. I said, no, Bianca, like, I want to date you.
I was like, oh.
And then what did you say? Do you remember what you said?
No, I don't.
Remember, you were like, oh. Oh, that's it. And then you were silent. Then I had to be like, well, do you like me too? And then you're like, yeah. You did say yeah.
I did?
You did.
Oh, dang.
But then... And then I'm like, well, you know, I wanna date you. And then you said something along the lines of, well, I want to wait like 6 months. Do you remember that?
I swear I thought like I was saying I don't want to say no. And
But
then
you
I was
didn't
like,
wanna-
but
yeah.
I didn't want to say yes at the time either. So I was like, give me 6 months.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
it. That's what it was. And then 1 week later, we started dating.
I literally was like, I remember because I told like Natisha right away because I was like, girl, like what is happening? Even she was shocked. And then I remember I was like, I can't imagine like holding Jimmy's hand. Like what? I'm like,
What
that's
did I
so
do?
weird.
What did I do that week?
Oh, following week, this guy holds my hand.
And I'm like, oh, you like that?
He didn't say that.
I know I didn't say that, but I thought it. I
Yeah.
thought it.
I was
And I knew
like,
you
oh.
liked it because your hands got all palmy and sweaty. It's
It
okay.
did.
My hands got palmy and sweaty too because of your hands.
Such a blend. but yeah, I remember. Actually, I also was praying to God because I was like, what did I even tell him? I was like, if this is a sign, like give me a sign, like to know that I like it's okay for me to date Jimmy because I'm like I just can't see it. I can't imagine like holding his hand, and literally like that week, he started holding my hand. I'm like, this is nice.
You know what was going through my head that whole time?
No.
So the first thought was, oh man, I really want to hold her hand. So did I ask you to hold your hand?
No, do you even remember how it happened?
No. How exactly did it happen?
I was really mad. You picked me up after work.
So this was in the morning already?
This was in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after your night shift.
And like you picked me up, like I don't know what. I was just so pissed. Like
At me?
No, not you. Like
Oh, okay.
kinda, like something
With
happened at work,
Okay.
and I was just like, it's like, ugh! And you like didn't know what to do, so you just grabbed my hand,
That is something I would do.
and I was just like, oh, okay,
This is nice.
yeah. So that.
You're reliving it, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm reliving it. Yeah. It was a great time.
Do you remember how you asked me out?
Oh, something along the lines
You had
of,
to like spell it out, like you
will
know.
you be my boyfriend?
Will you be my boyfriend?
Or sorry, will you be my girlfriend? I want you to be my girlfriend.
You know how you like you have to spell it out too, because you're like, so, you know, when a guy and girl like when they're holding hands, that's usually when
Is that what he
boyfriend.
did?
Yeah.
Is that what he did?
Because we started like holding hands like after that like incident like almost every day. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that was
And
nice.
then you
I
had-
looked forward to it.
You had to like spell it out like saying so you know, boyfriend and girlfriends like they hold hands. And I was like,
They
yeah.
do.
And that's how you asked me out. It was like on concession, I think, by like the parking.
Yeah.
Yeah, the parking lot over there. And I think that's also when your car made that weird like
Oh, the
sound. Yeah.
It was my brakes. My brakes had to get replaced. That's why it was making that sound. I'll never forget.
Oh gosh.
Where was I going with this?
I have no idea.
Something about it. I forget. I just enjoyed that story.
Oh, because I called you oblivious and then you.
Oh
called me
yeah.
oblivious.
That's how you were
Yeah.
oblivious. Yeah, you were oblivious.
I still am
to that, too.
oblivious. We're like.
Not as much. We're getting better. Thank God for our friends.
But yeah, do you want to add anything else?
No, I think that was a good conversation. I enjoyed that. I think, I'm kind of going off topic here a little bit. Part of the reason I wanted to do this, like this YouTube series or even this podcast type of video with you, like to make content, is I find this is a really good opportunity to practice what we preach. You know how I say communication is key when it comes to, building your relationship, right? Whether that's friendship with your parents or even with your spouse, with your significant other, developing a better way to communicate with your words will help you and your partner grow in your relationships, right? So what we're doing right now is we're literally practicing and we are literally strengthening our relationship just with our words, getting better at expressing our thoughts, our emotions to each other, and also learning about things if there's something new that comes up in your life, right? Or even just reminiscing and thinking back on our past experiences, right? So doing that totally strengthens our relationship, and that's why I enjoy doing this, because I know there are times, actually there are a lot of times where you're like, okay, I'll just record because you love me and you're supporting what I'm doing, right? But just know one of the motives behind doing that is also just to strengthen our relationship. Like, as much as I enjoy speaking to you in the car about random things like boop boop beep, dude, our car conversations are stupid sometimes. Like, sometimes I say, oh, one of the lights went out, that's fine. Sometimes I say stupid things in the car and it's like, we'll just laugh and giggle, but they aren't really relationship building conversations. It's more like just having a good time sort of thing. So when we have these conversations in this setup, I really feel like we're growing together. Do you feel the same way?
I guess.
Gee, thanks.
Well, normally, like, once in a while we have these conversations just, again, without the technology and camera and all that. Like, I think it's usually when we're, you know, maybe not watching something while we're eating and we're actually just, well, it's in the kitchen or
yeah.
something. Or when we're out, like, you know, just eating out. Like, we have sometimes those
Yeah.
conversations until, you know, you bring up, or I bring up something stupid, or,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah.
Cool. I guess we'll end it here. I feel like I need to say something. Like, I need to have a catchphrase. I don't have a catchphrase. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I guess until... So, until next time. Sorry again, we've been gone for like 3 weeks. Just again, we've been busy and life has been hectic. But so is everybody else's lives. Right? All right, until next time. Peace. Peace. That's right, we can.
Don't do that. Don't do that.